Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. FIDE World Chess Cup 2015. This is round 3, game 2. It's a 2-game knockout tournament. Some of the toughest, grueling mentally and physically there is. The people that qualify to this go into the candidates final. And that tournament will determine the challenger to the current world champion, Magnus Carlsen. This is a heck of a game. And one of my favorite players as well. As white as Pavel Eljanov, and as black, Alexander Grischuk. I'm a big Grischuk fan. I like Sasha. I think he's a cool guy. He's an interesting character. I heard he's a hell of a poker player too, world-class player. Anyway, let's get to it. Eljanov is white. Grischuk is black. It's going to be a Blumenfeld gambit, which a lot you don't see that at this level. You know, world-class players here. This is the World Cup. E3, knight F6. I know nothing about this opening, so I'm just going to go through it. A6, A3, B6, knight C3. A lot of pawn moves in this gambit, apparently. That was the last book move according to the computer. No, pawn takes, and D6. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minor pieces still in the back row and move 7. None of them are even close to castling. Oops, bishop D3, bishop B7. Now they both, like the D7, they're going to castle here shortly. Bishop F4. Black waits to castle, though. I don't know what Sasha was thinking here. Castle, bishop B7, H6 are all about the same. He decides to go B7, H3. And finally, black castle. So let's take a breather here. Let's see what we got. Small advantage for white. Not much of one. Got a little bit more space. You see black's on the last 3 rows. White pretty much consumes the first 4 rows. Rook D1. Typical move here. Get your rook into play. This bishop looks awful powerful coming down the line, though. Got to be careful. Rook E8. Rook E3 looks interesting. I'm looking for a rook left. Maybe move the knight, bring the rook over the king side. B4. Bishop F8. That means he wants the rook to guard that pawn, which he's going to start pushing it. Bishop G5 to pin the knight. That's a really annoying pin. So he decides to move the queen. He's not going to double up his pawns if bishop takes, because knight's guarding the knight. As Rex Singfield, from the founder of the Chess Club Dyslexic Center in St. Louis, says, they're redundant knights. Rook to C1. Rook A to C8. Knight to D2. It actually looks fairly boring right now. But a lot of games that, oh, hell breaks loose, starts off this way. So let's see how it goes. Queen to B8. Get the rook on the file. I don't care for the queen there, but it's better than D8. Knight B3. H6. Fairly kicks the bishop. Bishop comes back. He wants him to go in G5 to screw up his pawns in front of his king, but of course, Grischuk wants no part of that. Black's a little cramped here. I mean, look at all the pieces on the back row. 2 minor pieces and a queen. Bishop F1. Queen B7. Finally gets that queen bishop battery bearing right down here on the king. F3. Just to blunt that, of course. Knight to H5. Interesting place for that knight. Black's awful cramped, though. Awful cramped. Queen to D2. Queen A7. Interesting move there. Just wants the bishop bearing down. Let's go back here for a minute. That is the computer's choice, but I think queen to C7 might have been a little better. That's just my personal opinion. And move the knight back to F6. And who's going to do that after they move it to H5? I think knight to H6 was a mistake. Queen to A7. Bishop F2. Now you see the bishop here is X-raying on the black queen. Queen B8. He's just moving his pieces around. I think he's kind of stuck. Just waiting to see what white's going to do. And that's a terrible feeling as a player. when you're basically bottlenecked and you're so cramped up that your opponent is going to determine how you go. That's just emotionally and psychologically when you're playing, that's not very good. What to do? What to do? Rook B1 for white. Bishop comes up. A4. You can just sense that something's coming when all these pawns getting moved up. Things are going to start moving here quick. E5. Here comes finally the pawn break. D5 just blocks it up. Bishop G5 hitting the queen. Queen goes to D1. Looks like he's untangling a little bit, but what's this bishop going to do on A8? How's it going to get out? Here to here to here. It'll take forever. Queen to C7. As far as I'm concerned right now, black's down a piece. A5. B takes. Knight takes. Bishop F4. That bishop's still trapped on A8. Knight to E2. Bishop comes back. H4. Bishop's got to come back. G4. Here come the pawns. Eljanov is going for it. Knight's got to go back, which he should have done a long time ago. Knight to G3. It just looks like Sasha's just not into it. And he's a much better player than this. He's rated 2771. Got to be kidding. He's one of the top 5 or 6 players in the world. Queen D8. Maybe he's looking. Move the knight here. Hitting that pawn. H5. Puts the kibosh on that right away. But I kind of like knight to H7 and then to G5. That might be interesting to look at. Bishop F8. Bishop D3. It's a little over a point advantage now for white, but I think Sasha's doing okay considering how cramped he is. Knight H7. Well, what else can he do? Bishop on A8 can't move. And it's terrible because he can't even move this pawn to try to free up the bishop. Knight G5. King comes up. Interesting move. Oddly enough, that's the computer's move as well. The only thing I can think of is he wants the king to guard the F3 pawn and he's going to move the queen. Rook C7. Knight to E4. Bishop C5. That's the break open move. Knight takes. Bishop takes. Knight to F6. C6. Look at that space white has. 1.5 advantage according to the computer. A little over for white, but there's that. I keep pounding on it, but that bishop on A8 is pointless. Rook C8. Queen comes up. Knight takes. Computer likes rook takes better, but I like queen takes, which he did. Bishop G5. Good place for that bishop. Guys, he's got to get his pieces out. Bishop B3. Bishop takes. Rook takes. Rook F8. Looks like Sasha's entangling, but I think he's getting choked to death. Queen F5. Rook B8. Knight. Knight finally moves. Rook B5. Rook to D3. That's an interesting move there. That's also the computer move. It's just over my level to figure out what that's for. Queen to C7. Knight D2. A5. Knight goes to E4. Rook takes. Rook takes. Pawn takes. G5. Here comes the attack. It looks like white is doomed. Or excuse me, black is doomed here. Queen A7. Trying to get something going. Pawn takes. Pawn takes. Computer likes knight to F6 check, which ends the game immediately. And a close second is F4, and that's what Eljanov does, and that's where he resigns. To give you an idea, after f6, rook checks, king, rook g6, queen, f takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, d5, c7, look at this, queen, pawn, king, knight takes check, king to g7, queen, you get the idea, and so on. And there we go. That's a sweet mate, by the way. So tough break for Alexander Grischuk. He is knocked out of the FIDE World Chess Cup 2015. I hope somehow by rating, whoever does, he gets into the candidates final. Excuse me. Only 2 people in this tournament qualify automatically, even if they don't make it here. And that's Fabiano Caruana, American, and my buddy, Carl Nakamura, also an American. So there you have it, folks. Tough game for Alexander Grischuk. Game 2 of round 3 of the FIDE World Chess Cup 2015. I hope you enjoyed it. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.